What is going on, everybody? Thank you for taking a 10-minute break out of your Cyberpunk schedule to join us to talk about Marvel Champions and what our standout hero card from Cycle 1 is. I'm Jameson. That is Corey. Welcome to Bad Publicity.
Heck yeah, this is a big one. And we're only on episode 7. So I know this is one probably a lot of people are excited about. Definitely going to weigh in. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of "you're dumb" after we make our announcements. But hey, this is a fun game. We all play to have fun. We all have different play styles, and this is just our opinion on what we think isn't the best hero, just a standout, all around fun heroes to play. That came out in Cycle 1 in this game, Marvel Champions.
Oh. Corey, you just said heroes. Did you pluralize that? Did we cheat again? Did we cheat?
Oh, we may have. This was very contested, and we had to, like our previous video, if you may have seen, we do have an honorable mention position in this video. So good discussion coming forward.
Yeah. So again, these are standout cards to us. This is standout hero that, it means a lot of things to us. It doesn't just mean what hero is the strongest and what hero, if you pick, are you guaranteed to, beat your
roll your scenario.
Yeah. This is not how we work here. This is a lot of things that we talked about. And, like Corey said, what was really hard for us is because we come from two different play styles, and we wanted to make sure that we were putting kind of like the arguments together off screen, through notes, through our discussions, to come up with what we felt was the standout hero from Cycle 1, from, taking in a whole bunch of characters and characteristics, taking in a whole bunch of play styles and other metrics. And we really couldn't, because we really felt that when we narrowed it down and we went through each one, there was one that was like, listen, we've really got to give a shout out to this, but there's one that is the one that took us, that took the crown for this kind of stuff here. So, with saying that, Corey, is there any kind of thought process that you wanted to kind of go through and talk about for some of these other heroes, here, or do you want to just reveal it first and then we can kind of get into it?
I think we should dive in, because we could probably go into like a long chain of discussion on the ones that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Let's spend this time talking about the ones that we did pick and explain why.
Let's go, man.
So, all right. So we're gonna start off with our honorable mention card. So honorable mention didn't quite claim the prize, but was really close. Goes to Iron Man.
Ooh.
That's right. Old Tony Stark snuck in. Yeah. So I know Jameson is a much bigger Iron Man player than I am, but I have a lot of friends who just love this hero. And I've dabbled with him quite a few times, and it's just a really cool play style. It's got a very interesting of, like, at the beginning of the game, you're really vulnerable. You're not that powerful, you're not doing a lot, but you're working and building the suit, and just the theme is just something that I love so much about this hero, because it really is like the vulnerable Tony Stark, and you're working on getting the pieces of your suit together and online. And as you do, you just grow in power and kind of this inevitability. And then when you get that whole suit online, you're just doing so much stuff that you have like that whole like cool, like I'm Iron Man feeling as you're flying around, blasting stuff with your lasers, like readying up, going to where you're needed. It's just such a cool like build and the way it plays out in the game.
Yeah, like honestly, the first mistake that most people make when playing Iron Man is that they don't keep their phone handy, and to have it queued up as soon as you get that whole suit online, where you just like boom, and then all of a sudden that Aussie kind of comes in. It's like Iron Man. The whole Black Sabbath riff comes in. Like,
yeah,
that mistake number one right there.
It's true. That's definitely prime Iron Man playing experience.
Right.
You got to have that online ready to go.
But so what I like about Iron Man that it's such a very unique play style. We have not encountered anything like this yet. There is no hero in the game that plays like Iron Man. I love the fact that this is a hero that you can grow into. This is a hero that I wouldn't say it's for beginner heroes, but they included it in your set as an advanced play to see a whole different mechanic. And I know it's not that very thematic that you're like, okay, I've got one piece of the armor and then I'm out there and going, right? But it really plays to how Iron Man was in his growth path, building up, very slowly, learning. Iron Man went through whole different versions of his suit to get stronger, to get better, and it all comes through. And Bad Publicity has a history of looking at a full card. And when we look at a full card, we look at traits, and we always preach the whole, we wish different card traits were not there just for shits and giggles of a card game. And Marvel Champions is taking advantage of that, by adding the key word here, for each tech upgrade you control. Now, there are more tech upgrades now that are outside of the scope of Iron Man himself. So this is really, really cool. And I think as the game goes on, we can probably see more tech upgrades. So Iron Man could potentially get stronger and stronger, and they're going to have to watch that from a design team perspective to balance that out. But, and I don't mean stronger and stronger because obviously you can see like to a maximum hand size is 7. But I just mean like his ability to quickly, power up his hand size than he would just straight out of the core set. But I just think this is such a unique hero. His kit was very well designed. He's so fun to play once you get the hang of his mechanic. And even from a learning perspective, maybe the couple times you're going to get thumped to play. Just great. Great work.
Yeah. Another thing that I do really like about him too is he feels very versatile in the type of aspects you can play him with, which I don't feel like every hero honestly like falls into that category. But I think that there can be fun builds in almost every aspect of Iron Man. And there's also different ways to build within each aspect. I've seen some really cool variety of decks from like other friends of mine playing the game. And they all have different unique spins on how they like to play Iron Man. And I think the way his design is he gives you a lot of flexibility in the rest of the cards in your card pool.
Oh, Corey, you couldn't be more right. Even from the different you have to think about what, who's around your table. Are you playing Iron Man solo? That Iron Man build is going to be dramatically different because he starts so slow to build up. You have to be prepared. A lot of people I've seen try and lean towards a leadership style of Iron Man so they can get a bunch of allies, and those allies can take a lot of the heat and be doing stuff up while you're digging for cards. If I'm playing, with 2-3 other people, then what I can do from my decision choice is I know that they're there to save me a bit more. So I don't need to do that. I might just go full out, aggression or, protection or justice, or, your options are so versatile with this build that it is honestly just so robust and incredible. Like I just think it's so cool that you can build this around, what you have coming and who's at the table.
Yep, agreed. So that's her honorable mention. We went on a bit for him, but
he deserves
it's great.
it. He deserves
it. He does. That's right. But there was a hero that stood above Iron Man in our pick for standout hero of Cycle 1.
Took us by surprise. We
absolutely agree.
if you followed along everything with Bad Publicity, you might have been able to call this one, because we've talked about this hero before, saying, we were very down on it. We're like, what could they possibly do with this hero? What? No, it's gonna be like so vanilla out the gate here. But what it was is a total 180. Now there was heroes and packs that we were low on, and this was one of them, that the hype train at the end of it was, oh my God, turned us around. Now there was heroes that we were really hyped on, and once I played them, I was like, the other kind of, oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Agreed.
But, yeah. So Corey, who do we have behind the curtain here ready to accept this?
Our outstanding standout hero in Cycle 1 goes to Black Widow.
Whoa. Listen, first off, we have to, I know that, Michael and Caleb are probably like just slapping themselves in the face here. They had the biggest chances to hit with one of their designs. But this Black Widow, gotta say, the history was actually designed by Matt Newman, who does the Arkham card game. He was brought in. He really wanted to design a hero for this game. They let him take on, Black Widow, and I should never have doubted it from the start. I would say that I don't know if this was the roller coaster that I was on, that I was like, meh, Black Widow. Prejudging from the movies and stuff like that. Like, she's always just there. It's okay. What they did with the ally card and stuff like that. And you're like, man, it's okay. But you look at this hero, and I was just blown away. Maybe, then you hear that maybe, Matt Newman's involved, and you're like, the dude that just, is, shooting, lights out from half court on the Arkham game. Oh,
that's right. The very one.
Oh, that guy. Okay, let me see. I'm interested. Right. Once you actually start playing with Black Widow and experimenting with Black Widow, and as the game has now, gone through and will continue, because we see again keywords here triggering off traits. That's all you got to do to win our hearts. Right.
I was just about to say, Bad Publicity loves it when you take advantage of using keywords. It's just gets us. It just really gets us.
It just shows that you've put some thought and tied your game together, right?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I would say it's very funny. If you go back and watch our episode where we do our first impressions of Black Widow, I'll admit, when we got down and started recording the episode, we were both kind of like, all right, let's see what we can talk about. Let's get into it. But then you can honestly watch our hype level gradually increase as we go through the episode and really start breaking down the cards. And I think for me, what really got me was how well it captures the theme of that whole spy feeling, because she's only 9 hit points, minimum hand size. She's got to really maximize her resources. And it just has that really cool theme of how she survives and plays in this world with these crazy superheroes with insane powers or godlike abilities and stuff like that. And I just feel the theme of her using her resources and her connections and her moves and with the preparation card mechanics just really kind of gives you that feeling of that role of that spy character, using those tricks and things to outsmart and overcome your enemies as you're playing. And I just fell in love with the deck and the hero as I played and delved deep. And I still think there's so much to uncover in her builds. As Jameson hit on, preparations are a keyword that we're still seeing even in previews and stuff like that. And as more and more of those become available, you're now opening up new options and things for the Black Widow deck to play around with, and it's so cool. It's so fun.
I really can't say enough good things about when, like I said, it's great design space when when a designer gives you something like this, because it opens up choices that you can do, and you're trying to push yourself to utilize these response abilities, and just the choices you make then from not only the kit but then going forward, it really is going to open your eyes up and have you think about your deck building choices going forward when so much stuff is built off these. And not only with Black Widow are you getting one trigger, you're getting two. Black Widow is well, I mean, let's say you're getting three, because we've seen stuff happen with Avenger.
Yeah.
The preparation is a given, and now in Spy now is there. So I just have such an amazing time with her. I think that I just think that this is a must buy pack. I know that we talk about we've preached the love before about Green Goblin as if you look at if you look at what was offered in Cycle 1, I mean from heroes and stuff like that, and the experience and things, you got a good base of heroes. You got your Green Goblin and stuff like that, but like Black Widow, I just feel is like a must buy. Like she's not going to be, I feel like, anybody's standout hero on paper, but play with her and I feel like you won't regret it. You will not be let down by this, about how awesome it is. I just had such a I just had such a great experience with it that I think
it's like a cool puzzle.
Yeah.
Unlock, and when it like clicks and you start gelling with it, it's just so fun. She just flows so well, and it's just a fun deck. So yeah, so that's
right. And so let's give a little bit of the reasoning behind that, right? Like Corey, like both you and I looked at like how new the game was, right? So and about the heroes that had to be included. Now for us, like Captain America is obviously very versatile, just like Spider-Man is, but we feel like they're just very vanilla.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, agreed.
We feel like if you have somebody new to the game, I think we said it before, Captain America is that great. Here you go. Just go tell them to buy Captain America. You'll get an understanding of the mechanics. He'll introduce you to something. You'll have some kind of fun aspects in there. But Captain America is just that for what he's doing. Thor's kind of the same way with Thor's ability. It is what it is. Doctor Strange, you gotta, I really don't know what to say about Doctor Strange. I think he's doing a lot of cool stuff, right? But that wasn't that.
If we were rating on like sheer power level, like I think he would have been like the standout, but we're not rating on just sheer power level of a hero. I think that's like where Doctor Strange hits, is like, yes, obviously he's a very strong hero and in skilled players, he's going to roll through a lot of scenarios. But at the end of the day, this is a cooperative game and you play it to have a challenge and to have fun. And sometimes Doctor Strange like walks past a lot of this, which for some people is great, but some people don't enjoy that so much. Because they feel like that there's a lot of decisions that you're kind of taking away or you're skipping over. And so he can easily fall out of favor and not be, there's some groups who just don't allow Doctor Strange, or they don't like having him in the mix, because he can take away from some of the other parts of the scenario and the way the game plays. And that's a preference thing.
Yep.
So
now, then a lot of people would think, to me, you might have guessed Miss Marvel. And I do.
Honestly, that's what I would have thought he would have picked. But
Yeah, well, we talked about it, right? But I think
yeah.
I think we settled on the right choice. Miss Marvel does a lot of stuff, and I think again she's that step up in playstyle, and that's kind of what we're looking for when something stands out to us. Because Corey and I aren't beginners in the card game space. We're looking for a little bit more of a complex challenge. We're not saying that these other heroes are not fun and they're not complex in their own way, but when we look at Miss Marvel, I just really love the fact that you can recycle those events. I just thought it was a really cool power, and she was all cool thematically. We had some really hard discussions about even standouts from the core set. I mean, core set heroes and core set cards are pretty much, like in most games, very powerful for a reason, because sometimes people buy the core set and nothing else. So you have to build that experience in there. I've had great times playing Captain Marvel. We just talked about Iron Man. I love Black Panther. I love him. Right? He was my go-to for a while out of that core set. Just how he kind of, built his mechanics and triggered through there. Corey, your thoughts on some of these other heroes and why they didn't make the cut?
I mean, my main two that I've been playing a lot recently has always, like, Captain America is always like my go-to usually when like I'm new to like a new group, just want to jump in and play. And then Black Widow has been like the other one I've been like really digging into. I mean, there's also like some of like that preference and stuff like that for each player.
But you held, talk about you discussed about She-Hulk. Like you used to.
Yeah, like She-Hulk was like out of the core set like my favorite hero, and she's good. Like she's really cool. I do think she plays a little different than some of the others because she has. I think she kind of falls into that thing too of like specific builds that are like really good with her. And she's not really for everybody. And then she kind of got, as more and more heroes came out, some heroes became, they had a little bit more complexity, a little more meat to them, and things that drew me to them, that I enjoyed playing their style a bit more. And I think that's as you get to heroes, especially Black Widow, where there's so much variety and a lot of cool ways you can build. You just unlock like that deck builders part of me that you didn't get in some of those other heroes.
That's a great point. I feel like sometimes there's a lock and key kind of metaphor here, where once you find the right build for some of these heroes, you find yourself questioning, why should I go away from it? She-Hulk is like that, right? Once you figure out how to play her, why are you going to change that up and give yourself that hard of a time? If She-Hulk was a pack, I don't think I could recommend everyone go pick it up. If some of these other heroes in the core set were packs, I don't think that I could say go pick this up before I say go pick up Black Widow. And that was a lot of the thought patterns that we looked at as individually, where I think out of anything, I think Black Widow is not super difficult. I don't think it's, super easy, but I think that I don't think I would be afraid to give a new player just a basic Black Widow out of the pack deck. If I said, pulled it off the shelf and said, here, play with this, look through it, this is kind of how it works and this is what you're looking for, I think that person would have an amazing time and also come back and ask for more. And then when I say, oh, you can change some of these cards out, you can do, oh, really? Oh, and I feel like there's just a lot going on with Black Widow.
Cool. Sweet. Well, we dove a little deeper into that than than some of the other vids, but the hero is it's a big category. So
heroes make the game, right? It's the reason we play it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, hey, we're almost to the end of our 10-part series, wrapping up episode 7. So our next one that we've got coming up around the corner is our Standout module. So this is the add-on modules that go into your treachery villain decks and everything. So yes, that's going to be our next one. So if you want to see what we chose as like our standout, tune in next time.
If you're still in the giving spirit, then feel free to give some subscribes out, give some thumbs up out. Feel free to use the share link and send it to your whole family. Share it out. You're in the giving spirit.
And honestly, tell us who you feel your standout hero is and why. Like why do you think a hero really stood out to you in Cycle 1? What do you love about them? What kind of play experience do you get? This is definitely like this category right here is definitely where there's probably gonna be like the most like controversial opinions, because everyone's play style is different. So we would love to like engage, interact with you on like what you really enjoyed out of Cycle 1, and maybe you've played these heroes, maybe your opinions of them.
Yep, and we really mean that. Throw some comments down below. Listen, even if you don't like, even if you don't subscribe, even if you even downvoted it, throw something down below to say why. You know, we want to know. We want to engage. That's what we do.
There you go.
All right. Thanks a bunch, everybody, for tuning us in. This was the Biggie, but we got more to come. We're not ending it like this. Tune in. Catch you later.